Hello, in this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to work the stretchy sewn bind-off, which you can see on this sample. For example, this is a folded hem or brim only in stockinette stitch, and on the wrong side it was sewn together, and you can see it is still really stretchy even though it's just stockinette and not ribbing. It also looks really tidy and neat, and it's very simple to do. So I prepared this sample. Here is just plain stockinette, and here is half twisted ribbing. I will show you how to do this method on just plain stockinette stitch and also on the ribbing, because it's slightly different. Because on the wrong side here there are only purl bumps, purl stitches, but on the wrong side here you have knit and purls. When you work in the round, it's easier. You just stop where you need to stop after, for example, 5 or 6 centimeters, depending on the pattern, and then you fold the hem or the brim, and you start with the bind off. When you work flat, you need to end up on a wrong side row, so when you are going to bind it off, you would basically knit right side row. So here is my yarn. I finished the wrong side row, and now I can fold the fabric and sew it together. Also, once you break the yarn, leave a tail about 3 to 4 times the length. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. I left 4. The length of the fabric, or the brim, the hem, whatever you are working on. So you need to tapestry needle, and this method is really similar to grafting. So if you have ever grafted anything, or if you work tubular bind off, the steps are kind of similar. When you're working in plain stockinette, you need to find a row of purl bumps you're going to use, and as you can see, you always have like this one which looks like a V, and one which is more like an A, let's say. And you're going to use the V's, the rounded V's, so like lower purl bumps. If you work in the round, the first stitch is really easy to find. When you work flat, it can be a little bit harder. So just look at your V's, and this will be my first stitch. Also, it might be helpful to throw a lifeline before you proceed to brim or hem, and then you can just see the row you're going to use to sew it together more clearly, but it's up to you. So if you work flat, the first step is to find the first purl bump and just pull the yarn through. This is your first step. If you work in the round, you're going to skip this first step, okay? Okay, and now everyone starts like that. You insert the needle, knit twice into the first stitch, and you drop it off. Then you insert the needle in this stitch purlwise, and you leave it on. And now you're going to find the purl bump you used, and you go under it, and then you go right under the next one. So you have 2 legs on your yarn needle, and just pull the yarn through. Now again, as if to knit, and drop it off, as if to purl and leave it on. Under the purl bum you used, which is this one, and under the next one. Again, 2 legs on your darning needle. Again, as if to knit, drop it off, as if to purl, leave it on. Sometimes it helps to tuck on the yarn a bit so you can see the purl bum. It helped me a lot. So when I tuck, I know it was this one. And then I'm just going to use the next one. Again, 2 legs on my darning needle. And I'm going to continue like that until the end of this round or row. I'm knitting flat, so I can show you the results. Okay, I have 2 stitches left. So as if to knit, drop it off, as if to purl, leave it on, with the previous purl bum, and through the next one, which is here. And for the last stitch, just drop it off like twice, and it's finished. So this is how it looks. Again, neat and stretchy. It seems a little bit bulky, but once you block this, it lays kind of flat, which you can see here. It's not as bulky once you block it. Almost is twice as thick as the unblocked one is twice as thick as the blocked one. So this is how you do it for plain stockinette. And now I'm going to show you how to do this for the ribbing. So for the ribbed part, you can of course use only purl bumps as well if the body was in stockinette, and then you change the ribbing. When you fold it, you can easily see, even without the lifeline, these purl bumps, and you can use the last stockinette row or round to sew it. But sometimes it's not in plain stockinette, and a stretched pattern with pearls and knits, purl and knit stitches, and you just need to alternate. So again, if you worked flat, you need to find the first stitch and just insert the needle through it and pull it together. If you worked in the round, you don't need to do this. So when you look on the sample, the first stitch is a knit stitch, so it will appear as a purl stitch on the wrong side. And I'm going to use, or usually you just want to use the first row of the ribbing. So you have purls and knits, and purl bump and knit stitch. These belong together. Okay, as you can see, the strand goes here, and now it goes down. So I'm going to insert my needle here and just pull it together. The beginning is the same. You go through the first stitch knitwise and drop it off. You go through the next stitch purlwise and leave it on. But now you don't have purl bumps on the row, but also knit stitches. So you go through the purl stitch as before, but then you find the first A, it's like a sharp A, and you need to insert your needle into the right leg of that A. Now again, as if to knit and drop it off, as if to purl and leave it on. And now you're going to use the left leg of the A and the next purl bump. So instead of using just purl bumps, you always use purl bump and the right leg or the left leg and the purl bump. As if to knit and drop it off, as if to purl and leave it on. Now again, purl bump and the right leg. As if to knit, as if to purl. Now the left leg and the purl bump. And that's the only difference. The rest is the same. I'm going to continue and show you the results. So again, I have 2 stitches left. Drop the first one knitwise, go through the second one purlwise, and make the last step, which is kind of hard to see right now. Let's do this. And for the last stitch, just drop it off knitwise. And this is the result. Folded brim hem and half twisted ribbing. This side looks again really neat and it keeps its stretchiness.